Hello there, little berries. This is Eryberrie here, and here is another Autism Diaries video. This is a little different. I'm not tackling any particular subject. I just wish to let you know that, well, today I'm filming this Sunday. This won't be going out until tomorrow, probably, or later in the week. But yesterday I attended the first of 6 therapeutic sessions, if you were, based on like cognitive behavioral therapy, which I've already had, but for women on the spectrum, and it's a group. And what was interesting is that besides the person to whom I've referred in previous videos that I said I grew up with who turned out to be autistic, I can't tell you who they are because of confidentiality. Besides that person, I had never met another female on the spectrum. So I've met people online, but not in person, and so that was quite daunting for me because not only was I going to be meeting one, but I met 5. The person who pushed for this was the psychologist who actually diagnosed me, and I last saw him 2 years ago. There were also 2 assistant psychologists, and they were the ones who actually ran the workshops. The first one was learning about what autism is and train of thought, and jumping to conclusions and trying to break a cycle of, because you don't know what people are always thinking or feeling, and all these different scenarios run through your head, and then you need to break that and go, right, it's most likely that, look at the evidence, and then do something as a result of what you feel it is. First of all, going to the group, the first person I met, I had a really nice conversation with, but I have to say I still felt a bit like a fish out of water, because I talked a lot. I talked too much, but I had a lot to say. Quite a lot of the other women in the group didn't speak very much, but there were 1 or 2 that didn't speak at all, and I don't have any problem with that whatsoever, because we're in a situation, we know we're autistic, we know we have social problems, so of course we're not going to berate somebody for not chipping in or for chipping in too much. I did feel a bit that I should tone it down, but when I thought of something, or when they put a question to the group and nobody answered, and I had an answer, I said what my thought was. I actually wanted to speak a lot more than I actually did, and yeah, I think maybe I should have toned that down a bit, or I should have allowed other people to speak a lot more, and I tried to very much. But yeah, it's maybe just be me. Maybe they didn't mind it. Maybe they thought that I was helping, but again, I can't read people, even those who are also autistic. I can't read them. I remember I said before in the previous video, um, that we ladies particularly, we mimic a lot, and that was touched upon by the assistant psychologist, that ladies do mimic, and they are, not to be sexist, but women are better at mimicking and putting it in the right context than men are. So that's probably why men on the spectrum and boys fit the criteria more than women do, because women are better at masking it and playing a part and acting, and we try our hardest to extrapolate and mimic back everything we see and hear from TV shows or other people whom we feel are doing the right thing, and put it into different contexts. That's not always worked for me. I think more often than not, I think in my experience, I don't think it's worked as much, but maybe it actually has worked quite a lot, because nobody ever thought I was autistic until I reached my late 20s. Even I didn't think that I was on the spectrum. I would never have thought that. I always thought it was just because I'm a different person. Another thing that baffles me is why teenage girls think everything's funny. That makes me uncomfortable a lot. I remember I was in a cinema once, and my wife and I were the first people in this cinema. It was a big cinema, and 3 teenage girls walked in, and they sat behind us. Of all places, they sat right behind us. They could have gone anywhere. I think it's, because that was their allocated seating, but really nobody else was there, and they just had to sit behind us, and they were sitting there not talking but sniggering, and I couldn't help but feel that they were laughing at me, and I just sat there and thought, don't sink to the level. I thought if I'd said anything, they would probably get upset and do something or complain about me. I don't know. But I felt like turning around and saying, what's so funny? Yeah, but then I just thought, no, leave it. Film will start in a minute, and they'll be focusing on that, and that's exactly what they did. And another lady said that she does the mimicking thing. She echoes a lot, but didn't realize she was doing it until somebody pointed it out to her. It's a subconscious mask, and I think everybody puts on a mask at some point, but for many people, they don't have to put on such a strong mask as an autistic person does. The mask that autistic people wear is heavy. It hides that true person, and it's exhausting to wear all the time. And there are points where you just say, I just can't do this anymore. You burn out, and people instantly think that you're regressing, or you're just doing it for attention because it's just like a short spell, or something else. But it's just simply that it's just too much to keep that act and pretense up. The psychologist that diagnosed me, as I said, was there, and he told us there could be cases where young kids, when they go to school, they manage to keep it together when they're at school. They manage to put on that act and that show and just manage to get by through either mimicking or acting and pretending, and just really trying hard not to get stressed or show that stress. But when they get home, they let the mask fall away. And then a lot of people say, well, it's the parents' fault because the child is not like that at school. He's only like that at home. Therefore, it's the parents' fault. No, maybe the child is only behaving that way at school because that's all that they can do. And when it comes to home life, they just want to relax. And then relaxing and taking off that mask shows that how that person truly feels, and the stress comes out, and it affects everybody. It's not the child's fault. It is not the parents' fault. It's nobody's fault. But it is possible to be able to cope a lot more if people know about your condition. And that's one subject we did talk about, is whether we tell people. I've told pretty much anyone in my life. I have absolutely no problem with it. And another thing is, I've struggled since I was a child to find out why I am so different, why my way of thinking is very different, why I can't do the social thing that everybody else can do. I don't understand it. And then when I finally have my answer, that really helped. It's difficult when you're, not only are you autistic, but then nobody knows you are, even you. And also I happen to be gay. I'm also very fat. I wear glasses a lot. And when I was growing up, glasses, you got teased for wearing glasses, not so much now. I didn't have the best fashion because my mother wasn't as well off as many of the other mothers of the children at school. So I didn't go to school looking at the height of fashion. My mother was quite old fashioned and liked me to look a certain way. I also grew up in a very conservative family, whom I could not let my guard down around. And whenever we had a family function and I did sometimes let my guard down, I'd end up upsetting somebody, and I'd get bollocked and sent to my room, or or whatever. It's stressful being autistic, and yet not appearing to exhibit symptoms that people can see. They look at you and think, I can't see anything wrong. It's just you being stubborn and obstinate and funny about things. You can help that. No, I can't. That's just how the autism manifests. Anyway, I have 5 more sessions to go. They're all going to be on a Saturday. And I was hoping to do a vlog in the afternoon after the sessions, but I think I might sort of give myself 24 hours to reflect and then do it. The place at which I'm going, I have asked them if they would mind if I did these vlogs on the sessions, and they said they're absolutely fine with it as long as I don't reveal the names of the place, the people. They asked the ladies in the group. They didn't say anything for or against. They didn't object, but they were told, if you do object, please tell us, or at least email us and we'll tell Erin. And I haven't had an objection as well, so I thought, again, leave it 24 hours before making the vlog, and maybe leave it another 24, 48 hours before putting it out there, to allow people the opportunity to say no if they'd rather they didn't. But of course, I would never reveal anybody's name. Whenever I was reading from my diagnostic papers, I always made sure I didn't put the paper in front so you could see the header of where the company was. or reveal the name of the psychologist or anyone like that. So I'm very mindful about confidentiality. So I'm just basically reflecting today on what it was. We did discuss like a broad range of different things, but as I said, it was about breaking cycles of thinking, because when you're someone who doesn't read people very well, a million scenarios run through your head and you end up stressing out and fixating, and it can be really debilitating and you can't just switch it off. It doesn't work like that. But yeah, I just wanted to do a short one basically on that, and each time I have another session I'll be doing another video on it. Anyway, thank you for watching my little berries, and I'll see you very much soon. Bye. Mwah.